And we'll look at the Epstein stuff as well. What is this here? Oh, this is big. This is real big.
Speaker Johnson, this is sort of on the heels of something else that a lot of people are asking questions about. And because we've been lied to by our federal government for so long, I feel like there's some type of like there's a pain point, right? And a pressure cooker that gets heated up on issues like the Epstein issue, right? And obviously that's something that's taken over.
Can you believe that we live in a world now where somebody can donate $5 to hopefully get a question asked to the Speaker of the House for the United States of America on YouTube? Yeah, I'm gonna throw in a $5 here. So like, what the fuck is with like this whole pedophile ring and like all the elites and billionaires? Can you ask him about that? That's dumb as fuck. No, it's not. This is the way Thomas Jefferson would have envisioned it.
A lot of the online dialogue. So a question here about it that concerns either testifying or testimony for Ghislaine Maxwell, potentially before Congress, or if you would support members like Marjorie Taylor Greene or Anna Paulina Luna on the release of subpoenaing the Epstein documents from the DOJ, whether you would support either of those.
Yeah, I haven't talked to Marjorie or Anna about that specific subject, but I'm for transparency. We're intellectually consistent in this. We look, Reagan used to tell us we should trust the American people. I believe in that principle. I know President Trump does as well, and I trust him. I mean, he put together a team of his choosing, and they're
doing not trust the American people, but okay,
doing a great job. It's a very delicate subject.
I like this guy.
We should put everything out there and let the people decide it. I mean,
that's true. That's exactly what I said. Put it out there.
The White House and the White House team are privy to facts that I don't know. I mean, this isn't my lane. I haven't been involved in that. But I agree with the sentiment that we need to put it out there. And you know,
there it
Pam
is.
Bondi, I don't know.
I told you, bitching, crying, mauling, getting mad. It's working. I said it was gonna work. It's working, bro.
She originally made the statement, I think she was talking about documents, as I understood it, they were on her desk. I don't know that she was specific about a list or whatever, but she needs to come forward and explain that to everybody. I like Pam. I mean, I think she's done a good job. We need the DOJ focusing on the major priorities. So let's get this thing resolved so that...
Well, this is a major priority. Very important to keep in mind. This is not a major priority. This is the major priority. Because this is what everything else, like, dude, if you can't get this locked down, you can't do shit.
Deal with violent crime and public safety and election integrity and going after Act Blue and the things that the president is most concerned about, as we are. So I'm anxious to get this behind us.
Yeah, no, he's right. And he's actually like, by the way, this is a pragmatic and reasonable perspective to have, too. Because also, there are a lot of other issues that need to be resolved besides Epstein. And it's just that the Epstein list is eclipsing every other problem because of how blatantly egregious it is. And I think that that's really the problem that we have. It's midterms. Yeah. Do you want to remain in power? Do you want to continue having, like, you know, all three branches of government as pretty much a monopoly and you can do whatever you want? Well, then you've got to get this in front of the public and get this behind you so you can continue collecting W's. Because the fact is, like, the Iran shit was a W. The border was a W. The anti-woke shit was a W. Removing DEI stuff, W. Defunding universities, having trans athletes, huge W. Like, he has brought home the bacon with a lot of different stuff. The Middle Eastern visits, W. Like, bringing in manufacturing to America, massive W. You know, all of that stuff. Like, he's had a lot of huge wins. I haven't even thought about a lot of these too. And kill streak ended. Yeah. Stopping the Rwanda genocide. Totally unexpected W. That shit was happening since like 1994. So the fact is that voting to block will make your blood boil. It's misleading. That's not what happened. You were misled. Look into it. I'll probably put out a video about it later on, and that way people can see it. And yeah, I understand what you're saying, but that's not what happened. And it's dishonest and tired out. People believing headlines. Yeah, I know. And well, no, you won't. Well, of course I won't, but my editors probably will. So that'll be the difference. And you're slapping a W on all the bullshit. He hasn't even had any official trade deals, and tariffs had negative effects long term. Well, tariffs will have negative effects long term. Okay, well, we've already had negative effects of not having tariffs, so I would say that doesn't really matter. And then also, so if you're saying that those other things are bullshit, I don't think they're bullshit. I care about those things a lot. And so, I mean, if you think that I'm wrong, that's fine. Oh, here we go. There's more.
They've got videotape, and all of a sudden they don't. You know, you have the director of the FBI on this show saying there's no if there was, nothing you're looking for is on those tapes. Like, what?
These aren't the tapes you're looking for.
What did they say? There was thousands of hours of tapes of people doing horrible shit. Why did they say that?
Right.
Didn't Pam Bondi say that?
What, are you talking about Epstein or Diddy?
Yeah, Epstein.
Epstein. Yeah, she
Which one?
said it literally, I think, a week before you had the FBI director sitting here telling you there was nothing, right?
Yeah.
She said something about that there was like thousands.
She said straight up. She said straight out, plain out, absolutely, that they confiscated thousands of hours. Yes.
Of hours of tapes of people doing horrible crimes.
There is.
100%.
And didn't the FBI dude say that there was nothing?
The FBI dude.
Cash Patel said there's nothing you're looking for. Oh, okay.
That's right.
Okay.
Oh.
I mean, what am I going to do? I'm going to push back.
Right. No, of course.
And
I
obviously,
understand.
he's saying what he has to say.
Right.
Mystery surrounds the Jeffrey Epstein files after
Mystery?
Bondi claims tens of thousands of videos.
Wow.
Tens of thousands.
Wow, that's a lot.
Jesus Christ.
I'll tell you what.
Tens of thousands of videos, but apparently nobody was into videos.
Chill. Oh, my God. Was reviewing tens of thousands of videos,
no
the
one
wealthy
was into videos.
financier with children
interesting?
or child porn. The comment made to reporters at the White House days after a similar remark to a stranger with a hidden camera raised the
real
stakes for
weird.
President
Yeah, it
Donald
is.
Trump's administration to prove it has in its possession previously unseen compelling documents, or just bomb Iran and everybody forgets.
Just
about
bomb Iran. Yeah.
it. Everybody forgets about it.
Yeah, I mean, apparently that didn't work. Who's this guy?
Should there be an investigation or a special counsel investigation?
I don't know. I'm not an attorney. I just
Let me make sure I turn this up.
Should there be an investigation or a special counsel investigation?
I don't know. I'm not an attorney. I just find them guilty and hang them publicly.
Who's this guy? Tim Burchett. Oh. Oh.
Find them guilty and hang them publicly. I
Okay.
mean, that's not over the top either. I'm ready.
This
I'm
is
over
reasonable.
it disgusts me. I'm big on clarity and transparency, and you know, that's good reason people don't trust government, either party.
But you don't believe what the Justice Department is saying?
I don't know. No, I don't. I think
He just says, I don't know. He's trying to be political about it, and he's like, actually, you know what? Nah, bro, fuck that.
I don't trust them.
Damn.
And hang them publicly. I mean,
Oh, shit. Oh, man. Oh, bro. Like, this what? See, finally we bringing it back. Who is this? I don't know. He's somebody I'd vote for, though. I've been waiting on this for a while. We back to 1700? Oh, I mean, bro, like moving to Tennessee, yeah, that's what it's about. Real base shit, exactly. Yeah, so when was the last time we did that with somebody? That was Saddam, right? Like we hung Saddam publicly. Like in my opinion, I think hanging this is just my opinion. I don't like the idea of hanging people publicly. I feel like you can make. Actually, I won't share my opinions on what I think the preferential way of doing it is. Let's. You know what? Why don't I just not do that? But that's not what I would do. I would have a very creative guy, okay? It's pay-per-view. Yeah, it's for the best. And so, no, it would not be hanging them, bro. It's like, it's over too fast. It's, no. Okay, here we go. Did Pam Bondi tell you your name appeared in the Epstein files? Uh-oh.
On Epstein, the Attorney General briefed you on the DOJ and FBI review, the findings of that review. The Attorney General briefed you on that.
What? On the...
On Epstein, the Attorney General briefed you on the DOJ and FBI review, the findings of that review. The Attorney General briefed you on that.
what? On the...
on the DOJ and FBI
on what?
review.
On what subject?
Epstein. On Epstein, of the review of the files. Attorney General Pam Bondi.
A very quick briefing.
Did she tell you, what did she tell you about the review? And specifically, did she tell you at all that your name appeared in the file?
No, she's given us just a very quick briefing, and in terms of the credibility of the different things that they've seen, and I would say that, you know, these files were made up by Comey, they were made up by Obama, they were made up by the Biden information, you know.
Shut up, man. Like, if they made all these files up, then why didn't they put them out? And if you didn't know, like, so what's the logic here, right? Like, that they made the files up. If they made them up, then how do you know that they existed? And if you knew that they existed, then why didn't they release them? None of this makes any fucking sense, bro. Like, none of this makes any fucking... You think about this, there's no logic to this at all, man. Like, insulting... This is so dumb, bro. Like, he's just cut this shit the fuck out, bro. Like, really?
We went through years of that with the Russia hoax, with all of the different things that we had to go through. We've gone through years of it. But she's handled it very well.
But you got to at least say that you believed it, though, right? Because, like, if you're going around and you're bad-mouthing old Slick Willie, you're bad-mouthing Bill Clinton. That wasn't fair to Bill Clinton. Bill was one of our presidents. He was a president of the United States of America, and you said he was a pedophile. I think that's a little bit unfair. I think Bill Clinton deserves an apology. That was uncalled for. That was so mean. Should have never said that.
And it's going to be up to her. Whatever she thinks is credible, she should release. Yeah.
It's outrageous.
On Texas, how many more seats do you want the Republicans to?
Do you want the Republicans to lose? I don't know. It depends on how much longer you want to talk about this bullshit. And yeah, I just...
You know, we went through years of that with the files were made up by Comey. They were made up by Obama. They were made up by the Biden information. You know, we went through years of that.
I love Trump, man, but this looks bad. What do you want him to do? There's absolutely no way he'll expose the files and make Israel look bad. Well, here's the thing, is that just do it anyway. Just do it. What's going to happen if you make Israel look bad? Who cares? What are they going to do? Nothing. Like, he's losing midterms because of this? Yeah, he's actually, like, I want to let you guys know, like, he's losing. Like, this is such a massive thing. Like, of all the things you can fuck up on, this is one of the biggest things for you to fuck up on. He just gave Democrats a layup? Yeah, he did. It's much bigger than we think. The thing is that I don't care. It doesn't matter how big it is or not. We need to get the information out. People deserve to know. That's it. I don't care about, oh, wow, it's going to destroy the government. God, I was already sold, but wow, really? Like, I mean, really? I mean, what is this? It's a build 100 bridges situation? Yes. I mean, let it crumble? Yeah, exactly. Like, dude, like, I don't understand. I don't care about this. it's not about, I understand that you might not care about this from a pragmatic point of view, and I can respect that viewpoint. But what you should care about is the fact that the government is openly insulting the intelligence of all of its voters and everybody involved with it by perpetuating this obvious lie. This is an obvious lie. It's very clearly a 180 from what they had previously discussed. It creates more questions than it answered. And yeah, he's lying to our face. Yeah, it's bullshit. You think that's anything new? That's cute? Well, the difference is that, like, Trump would make up bullshit before, but it didn't really matter. Like, nobody gives a fuck. Like, oh, yeah, like, this guy said this thing. Who cares? But this one does matter. Like, it's okay for you to lie about stuff that I don't give a fuck about, right? But, like, if you want to lie about something important like this, that's the issue. You should care about the fact that Mossad ran a blackmail operation as dirt on all our politicians and makes them dance like puppets for Israel. Well, how do you make that stop? You create a situation where being in favor of this means that you will lose your authority regardless. So when people are stuck between a rock and a hard, like, in order to change behavior, you have to look at why a person is doing something and then take away that incentive and then provide a disincentive for that behavior, and that will make them do something different. That's the way that things work. This is the way that you can train an animal. You can train people the same way. People are animals. Like, it's so easy to make people do what you want. All you have to do is figure out what they want and then either give it to them or take it away, and that will make them do what you want. It's so simple. So really, I don't even understand. Yeah, it's Pavlovianism. Exactly. So, but what if it's preventing a war? Would you sacrifice peace for the truth? No, the truth matters more. Because I think that a managed decline is worse. You know, I say I'd rather burn out than fade away. And I think that also this is the idea of that is it's an appeal to people's fear rather than their logic and rationality. Because if that's actually what's happening, then, well, number one, why would that happen? Number one. And number two, if the entire world is propped up by, like, this weird pedo organization, and if you expose it, everybody's going to die. What a weird, what are you talking? What a ridiculous premise. What the fuck is it? What? It's insane. If it causes World War III, well, then they shouldn't have done it. See, what politicians are afraid of more than anything is people that have nothing left to lose. And you should always vote as if you have nothing left to lose. Never accept half measures. Never accept bullshit. You can choose, and by the way, this is the way that I vote and I make decisions. If you choose not to make decisions this way, that's totally fine. But my opinion is that I will vote for extremist, radical, psychotic candidates because I view these people as the most destructive to the system. And I think the system is problematic, and it's designed to be slowly destructive. And I think that to accelerate the process, I would want to vote for somebody that would be even more destructive. That's the way I see things. Lamau, another L. Hey, you shouldn't have put me in that position. If you don't want me to do that, you shouldn't have put me in that position. Yeah. Like, that's not, yeah, I mean, fuck. Like, what? Yeah, you're making me, I don't want to do this. It's something I have to do. So yeah, it's chaos magic. Well, no, I'm just being honest, right? So we're voting Kanye. Well, we'll see what happens. They're afraid of losing power and control. They just want to be in charge. They can easily be replaced, though. They aren't as important as people think. Yeah. And so I can see that if the system's working against you, then overthrow the system. Yeah, exactly. Do you think Russia's involved in some way? I think that a lot of people are involved. But let me go back. I'll see. This is Matt Walsh talking about this. And we'll go back to other things that he probably commented about this today also. But we'll go ahead and get to this first. Your voting logic is moronic? Well, then those candidates better get a whole lot dumber. The way that I'm going to do, like, you act like me, like saying that it's dumb is going to be like, oh, wow, okay. Well, oh my God, I'm stupid? okay, never mind. I'm going to do what you want now. That's not, why would I do that?
Now, of course, we have no idea what information, if any, this sociopath, this evil woman will ultimately reveal. But the fact remains that, especially after the humiliating display by Bondi and the DOJ we've all just witnessed, it's probably worth listening to Maxwell's testimony. If a client list exists at this point, she's the most likely person to tell us. Now, yes, it's an indictment of Pam Bondi and the DOJ that we see any reason to listen to a ghoul like this, but that's where we are. Millions of Americans are not satisfied with what we've been told. And we shouldn't be, because it's been contradictory and insulting to our intelligence every step of the way.
Whoa! Now everybody's saying it.
So now we're looking elsewhere. This is what happens when people are deceived and strung along for years, only to be told that they're not entitled to any kind of transparency whatsoever. People are not just going to move on with their lives, no matter how badly you want them to.
Yep.
And there's a reason for that. And I want to make this very clear to those on the right, including the president himself, who are telling us to just drop the subject and move on.
Nope.
We can't drop it. We can't move on. Because what we want is justice. We have a deep desire for justice. And we can see how the corrupt and the powerful are never held accountable. We can look at our cities and see violent criminals running rampant in the streets.
Oh, I love this. Yep.
Also not held accountable.
Oh.
We want these evildoers to be punished. We want the innocent to be defended.
Yep.
We want justice.
That's a fact.
It's one of the most basic and most honorable of all human desires. We want to see that justice is done. We want to know who else was in those awful videos that Pam Bondi told us about. And we want those people to be dragged in front of us, weeping and begging for mercy.
And then we don't give it to them, and
we want them exposed and humiliated and shamed and punished in the harshest and most painful way.
Yeah. Yep. That's right. That's right. Mercy for the guilty is cruelty to the victims. Oh yeah. No, I'm very much a viewpoint. I completely agree with that at all. Firing squad? No, if I was in charge of this, I would not do public hangings. I'm trying to think, like, would I get in trouble for saying what I would do? You want to test it? Let's see what happened. So if I found somebody was guilty, like for anything like this, right? Like I'm going to be vague on purpose, okay? If I found that somebody in the government and in one of these like very high positions of power was actually involved in something that was like really horrible like this, I would bring back crucifixions and I would do them and I would put them up in front of the White House. Right there. Yep. Upside down? No. No.
Because that's justice.
Mm-hmm.
And
that's the censored version.
Going to drop the subject until we get it. So unseal everything, including the search warrants and the financial disclosures. Tell us what exactly was in those
trucks. Yes, it'd be insulting St. Peter. Exactly. St. Peter was crucified upside down. He was one of the apostles. We couldn't do that. We would not want to give them that rite of passage.
Loads of documents that you recovered in New York. Show us the Phase 2 Epstein files that you told us about just a few months ago. In other words, don't give us any more excuses from bureaucrats on Fox News. Don't give us any more stonewalling and doublespeak. We've seen more than enough of that in this case and so many others. Instead, for a change, give us something we're not used to seeing from the federal government and the DOJ.
Do the thing.
Give us justice.
Yeah, just do the thing that people wanted you to do. It's really simple. Just do the thing. Yeah, I mean, that's it, buddy. Like the Vikings did? No, I don't think so. Is that insulting Jesus? No. There's been a lot of other... The upside-down crucifixions were very uncommon in a lot of cases. And I know a lot about... Like, I know a disturbing amount about this. No, absolutely not. And use the X crucifix? Maybe you could do that, right? I don't know. But... Anyway, use it on X, the brazen bull. I don't like that one. I don't. I'm not a fan of it. And I don't like it. And so yeah, the Tree of Woe. Well, that's nice. Yeah, you bring back the Conan the Barbarian. Well, anyway, no, he's right about this. People elected Trump to be in some way an enforcer of the law. They see a completely lawless society where certain inner cities have turned into PvP servers. You have politicians that are openly corrupt. And I think that a lot of people, again, I don't think that people think that Trump isn't corrupt, but they thought that he was corrupt too. And they were hoping maybe it takes one to know one. I think that's what a lot of people saw, is because there was no real good option. But so people just went with the lesser of two evils in some way. And that's really what happened. Yeah, give him to Diddy. Yeah, I don't think that people I think a lot of people would assume Trump did some like shady stuff, but that doesn't really matter a whole lot about that. And so anyway, let's go back. I'll see. Oh, here's another one too. Oh, here we go. A Karen torture seems pretty bad. Put them all on Epstein Islands and make them play the Hunger Games. That'd be an interesting idea. I like that idea. That's a decent one. Search Brazen Bull. I know what it is. I don't like it because I just don't like it. Yeah, I don't think it's it's not Stream. Yeah, it's a good one. No, I don't, because you don't get, like, nobody gets to even see who's in it. Right? Like, I mean, you don't even get to see who's in it because it's not see-through. It's made by brass and like bronze. So like that's not how it would work. Yeah. So you can't even see it happen. That too. Yeah, exactly. And a lot of doing stuff like that it's about setting an example, right? You can hear it. That's boring.
Of that, I have the names of the people who are making the claim that that Jeffrey Epstein killed himself, and that the most gross,
I keep saying it. There's no way anybody can deny it at this point, right? It's massive. Really? Like, I've never seen one bigger than this. The hat's bigger. Yes. What is this hat called? Give me a second. I don't want to search Jew hat. What's the hat called? It's bigger than this one. It's bigger than this one. It's bigger than this one. I think it's almost the same size as this one. I think it's bigger than this one. See, that's him when he was younger. It was not that big. Way smaller then, too. Look at that. Look at this. That's crazy. He's getting more powerful. It's true.
And sort of extreme of the conspiracy theories, or theories, just don't even call them conspiracy theories. The most sort of, extreme version of the theory is not true. I have names of the people who are claiming that. Okay, they are all in the administration.
How does everybody have everybody's names, but nobody says what any of the names are? I'm starting to not believe this.
My point. If other people want to make those claims that are counter to that, then they should provide evidence or at least put their names on it so we can question them about that as well. Because otherwise we're just in the realm of pure speculation. And frankly, I just don't find that useful. I would love more useful information. This is why I'm angry at Pam Bondi. I think there should be all the useful information possible. But the same thing holds true for people who are making claims on the other side. Otherwise, I can claim that he was working for a cadre of space aliens who are blackmailing high-profile Americans in order to protect from a future invasion. And there's just a
Huh. Interesting.
About as much evidence for that as many of the claims that are being made on the other side.
That's what I thought.
Let's talk about that. That is made requires evidence. Any claim that's being made requires actual evidence And at the very least, in the absence of evidence, the credible names of the people that I can either trust or not trust.
Yeah, but like, here's the problem. Like, Ben Shapiro's right that claims require evidence, but the issue is that there are a lot of ways that you could logically go about and investigate the collection of that evidence that aren't being activated. Like, for example, there are different ways that you can question people. Like, Ghislaine Maxwell wants to come before Congress and talk about it. You could have people get in, like, have they ever answered the question about whether there are other people in the videotapes that are adults that are being tried or investigated or they're being looked into? How many other police agencies or people in the FBI? You said you have tens of thousands of videos and not a single one have another person besides Jeffrey Epstein. Come on. Like, this is it. So it's not even like, I understand where Ben Shapiro is coming from, but like, you're almost there. The fact is that the evidence is right in front of them. And they're saying, well, we don't know what's in the evidence. We don't know what's in the evidence. Well, yeah, we'll look at it then.
Ranging from, again, the president of the United States and vice president to the head of the FBI, the AG, and the deputy head of the FBI.
Mm-hmm. Well, I think it's very hard to say those people need to come out and put their names on these claims when they're working for an administration, this one and the one before, that didn't want that to come out. You're asking somebody to countermand the people they work for.
How am I supposed to falsify their claims? Now we're working in the realm of the unfalsifiable.
You're not, but you're...
Well, it's easy to falsify the claims. It's so easy. You just listen to what they said. They're falsifying their own claims. They said that they were going to release the list. They said certain people were on the list. They said people were going to have problems. We're not falsifying it. They are. And now they're going back on it.
Look, Ben, you can't come to me and say, everybody I know says he killed himself. And then I respond.
It doesn't matter. It doesn't matter whether he killed himself. What if he did kill himself? It has nothing to do with it. Him killing himself means something, but it's not relevant fundamentally. That this is a red herring. The problem is that, who gives a fuck whether this guy killed himself or not? It's not about that. It's about whether there were other people implicated with what he was doing. That's the conversation. Him killing himself, the only reason that matters is because it implicates other people as potentially being involved. Whether he killed himself or not, doesn't matter. That's a mining canary for the actual problem. Don't get fixated on the fucking bird. It doesn't matter.
Saying, I actually have my own sources who say he didn't. And then you say, well, your sources are not valid because they put their names on it. Okay,
well,
who are
no,
your sources? Let's go down the list,
should...
and then we'll talk about why they might be saying that.
My sources are the President of the United States, the Vice President of the United States, Kash Patel, the head of the FBI, Dan Bongino, the Deputy Head of the FBI, and Pam Bondi, the Attorney General. And those aren't just...
So all those sources said that Joe Biden had no cognitive decline, and for 4 years, everybody knew that was a lie. But now, suddenly, the administration being in lockstep with each other ensures that they're telling the truth. What are we doing? Just so ridiculous.
My sources. They're everybody's sources because they publicly came out and said this.
Different administration? No, it doesn't matter. It's a different administration. What matters is that he's using their credibility and their positions as their credibility. He said the director of the FBI. He didn't say their names. He's using their positions to enforce their authority, which implies credibility. That's what he's doing.
Okay. Trump hasn't specifically weighed in on that specific aspect of it. We've all seen the limited things that Trump has said and tweeted on this. And J.D. Vance was calling for transparency and suggesting otherwise prior to taking office. He hasn't commented on this so far, so he's not one of your sources.
Ask him. He's the vice president.
You've got Kash.
Good fucking... All right, Ben. True. Somebody should fucking ask him. Yeah, you're right. What I think is happening, this is my guess. A lot of young Republican up-and-comers aren't speaking out against this. And I think they're not really saying anything about it, period. Like, I'm not hearing Vivek Ramaswamy talk about this a lot. Fucking J.D. Vance isn't really talking about this a whole lot. And the Young Bucks aren't saying a whole lot about this at all. And I think the reason why, here's the reason why, is because they know something's wrong, but they're afraid to say it because they think it will fuck up their future career. So they're just hoping that let's just let them deal with this. And then maybe later on in like 30 or 40 years, when I'm president, maybe, in their mind, then we can release this. They're cowards. It's not that they're cowards. They know that they don't have a winning hand. Cigarette Man, thanks for 25 subs. Yeah, they don't have They don't have a winning hand, and they can't do anything. That's the reason why. Yeah, fucking right. They'll release it. I think that we'll get all of these files. I think we will. I think we'll find out everybody was involved in 50 years when they're all dead. Same as we did with MLK and JFK. That's what's going to happen. Yeah, in 50 years, when everybody's dead, then yeah, of course we'll get it.
You've got Dan and you've got Pam, and we've already discussed that memo in full detail. I'm talking about people behind the scenes who, prior to Trump taking office, I'm not going to get too specific, but trust me, I have high-level sources who have said they don't believe any of that. Any of that. Okay. So, and I'm not going to out them for purposes of convincing you, but you're telling me name them. No, I'm not going to. I don't have authorization.
I'm not saying
and then you say, well, I dismiss
Megan,
all of it because you won't name them.
Hold on, Megan, I'm not saying you should name them. I'm saying they should name themselves because otherwise they are being complicit in one of the greatest cover-ups in the history of the American Republic.
That's easy for you to say.
He's right.
Ben. That's very easy for you to say.
Why is that easy for me to say? Why?
Because you'll have your job and you'll have your millions, no matter what they do.
Megan, give me a break. If somebody came out today and they were a whistleblower on the greatest scandal in the history of the American Republic, they would make more money tomorrow than in their entire life working for the FBI.
He's completely fucking right. He is. He's totally right about that.
That's ridiculous.
And then they'd be dead the day after that.
There are reasons not to cross the people who are in charge. And that's all I'm going to say. And look, this is me not having drawn a conclusion. I don't know what the truth is. I've been reporting in a way. I mean, I see you've taken a side that you've chosen to believe the story that's being offered, and that's fine. A lot of people have. I'm not there yet. I don't actively say that there's a pedophile ring. I don't say any of that. I'm just following the facts, and we're not at the place where I can draw that conclusion.
Well, no, I can draw the conclusion that the evidence that I'm seeing and the people who are speaking about it lead me toward this particular conclusion. And if counter evidence is presented that is not speculative, then
Has it ever occurred to you why counter evidence isn't being presented? Why is it that they aren't providing counter evidence, even though there are certain obvious questions that you should be asking? Doesn't that seem interesting to me?
will change my conclusion because that's what I've done on this case. Until this memo came out, I was weighing toward the more extreme version of this theory, and you can look back at my tweets and what I've said about it.
Yes.
And then this came out, and now my perspective has changed. So when the facts change and the people who are speaking
I'm just not that trusting of government. There are other facts.
I don't see how you can trust them at all. I mean, really, like, how can you possibly trust them after this is the same, like, you're trusting the government categorically after they just made up a bunch of bullshit about Biden being totally fine. And then you even had Biden's primary doctor who pleaded the fifth about whether Biden was fucked up in the head when he was the president. Like, it's an appeal to authority. It is an appeal to authority because their authority has no relevance here. An appeal to authority is when you use a person's credibility in a way that it's not necessarily intended for or it doesn't make sense in. So, yeah, I don't know what the hell is going on, man. They're acting like Blizzard. They're acting like anyone puts this up on White House website's primary source. Yeah, not that trusting of a government, believing in government that's saying it's bullshit. Yeah, I mean, The scariest sentence in the English language is we're the government and we're here to help, from Ronald Reagan. Yeah, sure. And so counter evidence, everybody says it exists. Nobody denies it. Everybody says not to disclose it now. It's fake. Yeah, I mean, how is it that, like, I mean, how do you reconcile all of these people talking about it and then, oh, here we go. This is another one.
We have some breaking news for you on this program that I just learned about Dan Bongino and his future at the FBI. Because we know Dan, he's been a bit of a mentor to me, quite frankly. He's always been very helpful in our show, even calling me randomly to give me pointers on certain things. He's just been a wise advisor. He's always been good, and he's been solid. He cares a lot about this country, and he has a heart of gold and a very big heart. And he's somebody that wants to make it a better place. And the fallout from the Epstein saga, of course, caused Dan to say, it's going to be really tough to return to my show, you know, to do what I love to do after all of this. If it really goes south, you know, will people trust me? Because they don't trust this stuff, and we haven't done it in the right way. Now, I called a number of people with direct knowledge of this, and this was Dan's frustration, is that the disclosures were not great, and the way that it was handled and the way that it was released was not great, and that he was being blamed in part for it. And so Dan didn't show up to work and sort of gave an ultimatum to President Trump and said, hey, listen, Pam Bondi either goes or I go. And he and Pam Bondi had quite a bit of a blow up at the White House on Wednesday. Dan hadn't showed up to work since. And I don't want to see Dan go. Neither did the American people, by the way.
It's Bongino or Bondi. He's not
Who would you guys prefer, Bongino or Bondi?
Yeah.
Okay, 7,000 to 0.
They want Dan.
I just did some phone calls.
Obviously.
And I found out that Dan Bongino not only is back working at the FBI, that cooler heads have prevailed here, that Dan is actually working on something very, very important. And also, everything's changed. There is a positive mood for Dan, according to my source, after further internal movement towards Epstein disclosures and transparency. Trump team is back together and locking in. That's what I was told directly by my source. But this is what else I got from another
I'll
source.
believe this when I see some evidence, right? Check out raw alerts after. I'll look at that.
There are some big things happening that we may not be able to see right now, but it's been very positive. All of you in the comment section, posting on X, writing right here, letting your voice be heard in whatever way that you do that, it's worked. Further sources confirm to me there's going to be a major change in approach to the way that this Epstein file will be handled by the administration. Expect more disclosures. Very powerful people inside the admin are now pushing for a special counsel. Full press briefing on Epstein findings. Important to note that this drastic change happened after our voices were heard, but also Steve Bannon.
Remember, I told y'all molding about this would work. I said this shit would work.
Tucker Carlson, Megyn Kelly, and a number of other people, Charlie Kirk, really locking in and giving some tough love to the administration over this.
This is why I said this before. Music is off the small indie vibes of Blizzard. Yeah, I know music a bit weird. But anyway, let me see what the fuck this other thing is here. But yeah, no, I've felt this way about it for a while, just because of how ridiculous this shit is. Officials say metadata from the raw Epstein prison video shows approximately 2 minutes and 53 seconds were removed from one of the two stitched together clips. The cut starts right at the missing minute. Ah, wow, that's convenient. Damn. Okay, well, that pretty much that settles it. Okay. Well, so now it's not even 1 minute, it's almost 3 minutes. That's crazy. Yeah, is it 1 minute or two? Well, this is the way, and again, there's no real way to be sure about any of this stuff, right? We can't be 100% certain about it, but, again, we'll have to find, it keeps getting longer. Yeah, I think so. The clip isn't even of the cell. It helps nothing and it proves nothing. Yeah, it's just bullshit, man. I don't know why people are putting up with this. It's speed running. Yeah, I guess so. And this is what's crazy about it too. Even Kevin Spacey came out and said something about this. I would have never fucking expected that. I'll tell you that. Like, what? Kevin Spacey is throwing in his 2 cents about this. What is this? And so, who was listed as a passenger who was listed as a passenger on the Lolita Express has called for the immediate release of the Epstein files. Release the Epstein files, all of them. For those of us with nothing to fear, the truth can't come soon enough. I hate to make this about me, but the media already has. So here's another thing that I find is interesting. Spacey. Allegations, outcome. Kevin Spacey was acquitted of all sexual assault charges in the UK trial in 2023, following the UK trial, which has been paused pending an outcome. And so why isn't anybody talking about Kevin Spacey's acquittal? He got acquitted. He won the ruling. So this is what I think is very funny about this, is that this guy got accused. He's still canceled, though. Yeah, he might still be a weirdo, but certainly, yeah, innocent man. Well, I don't know about innocent, but some of the things certainly aren't true. People like to stick to what they think, and society's gotten confused between facts. Just because he was found not guilty in court doesn't mean he's not an absolute pervert. I understand the evidence better than the people, the jury and the judge. I understand it much better, for sure. Acquitted doesn't mean that he's innocent. Bill Cosby is also walking free right now. Is he really? I don't know about that. And Spacey's over brother. Yeah, exactly. And so this guy is, he did get acquitted, but he's probably still weird. Yeah, I think he's probably still weird in one way or another, but at least it's not as bad as we thought, right? And so anyway, wow. So even he, who was on Jeffrey Epstein's jet, wants to have it released. Wow. When are you innocent? When the internet when making a tweet about you being innocent gets a lot of likes. That's the way that you can tell and be sure about it, okay? And I've heard against being a pervert was against the law. This stream would be getting 2K viewers. Listen, I am I do not do that's not okay. Well, all right. So here's the thing. That shit was weird that he did, right? I mean, like, that shit was really weird. Like, that was crazy. Who does that? Yeah, an acquittal is a formal declaration. The defendant is not guilty of the crime they're charged with in the law. Yeah, Bill Cosby was released in prison in 2021 after they overturned his 2018 sexual assault conviction. Yeah, I guess so. This man is one of the biggest peddlers of all. He's bluffing. He knows they won't release the files. Not much to lose for Kevin Spacey. Yeah, I guess so. How Ghislaine Maxwell once sat on Buckingham Palace thrones with Kevin Spacey. And this was man, these people, like, how did they get the, who let them do that? Isn't that weird? That's crazy. Who would do that? Well, what if Trump released the Epstein list tomorrow, names all of them and pardons them, including himself, live on TV? How about that for some content? That would be very good content. I'll certainly tell you that. Now we know why the files will never be released. I guess so. And I just think that's why he's only doing this now because he knows it won't be released. He's guilty as fuck. I don't think he cares. Like, the guy's life got totally fucking destroyed. I mean, I'm going to be totally honest, right? I mean, his life got totally fucking destroyed by these allegations. So he has nothing to lose. There's no reason for him not to say this. And so, yeah. And yeah, you release the Epstein files. All of them. For those of us with nothing to fear, the truth can't come soon enough. I hate this to make the bad thing. You know they aren't going to come out now, so you pretend like you want them. Nice try. Well, I don't know about that. Maybe, right? And so there you go. Trump possibly used Epstein's client list to blackmail business leaders into absorbing tariffs, preventing inflation. Well, you can't let people do that, right? I mean, that's never going to work. And also, like, that'll eventually backfire at one way or another. You can't be doing stuff that way. Nothing. Yeah, there it is. And Kevin Spacey accuser dies by suicide the day after the actor posts "Killed them with kindness" video. Kevin Spacey won't face criminal charges in groping case after accuser's death. It's crazy. This guy has plot armor or something, right? That's crazy. How does that happen? What are the odds? Video is sick as fuck. Yeah, I never watched the video that Tucker Carlson did with him or anything like that. And so, yeah, I guess we're going to have to wait and see what happens. But Kevin Spacey was banned from Epstein Island. No, that's just, no. Bro, this is some crazy... yeah, nah, bro, like, we're not getting into that. I'm not even gonna read that bullshit. Yeah, maybe use resurrection spell, I guess so, right? Too much of a degen? Yeah, nah, that's just some crazy fucking Trump Karen. I wouldn't take it all that seriously. Let me go back down, I'll see if there's any more of these here too. But, oh, this is the last one that we'll probably look at. This is from yesterday. Remember whenever people said that it was fake? what I said about this was fake? Well, here's the video that it's not fake. Isn't that crazy? Wow. There's so many gaslighters on this topic on Twitter. It's insane. I think that, so here's the problem and here's the reason why it's happening. Let me explain why. So a lot of people don't want to accept the reality that this is actually happening, and it's a legitimate problem. And because they're afraid of accepting that reality, most people are attached to, and they only think in terms of people, and they can't think in terms of ideas. And because of that, they have to tie their values to a person rather than to the idea itself. So that's why you have so many people that are so, like, mindlessly fucking for or against Trump. It's because, again, they can't think about ideas, so they think about people instead. And because of that, they can't accept any ambiguity with certain individuals. So because they can't accept ambiguity with certain individuals, it leads them to lie to themselves because they don't want to accept that certain people are flawed and they can have some good ideas and some bad ideas, which is true with anyone. And so that's really what the problem is more than anything. And so why is she happy? The weakest minds? Well, that's it. Respect ideas, not people. Yes. And so that's really what happens in general. Everybody has pros and cons. Yeah, nobody's perfect. And if you can't contextualize that, you're going to have a lot of problems. Talking about cognitive dissonance, the mind is uncomfortable with things they don't understand since they can't control it. Well, it's more that they thought that they liked this person, and they thought this person was perfect, and this person was the solution for all their problems. And it turns out that this person is actually not perfect, and they have some things wrong with them. And I think that that makes these people uncomfortable. And because they're so uncomfortable, they're trying to look for a way to justify why it's okay. That's it. It's a childish worldview? Yeah, but you can say that, but that's the way that a lot of people think. That's the reason why people stand so hard.
What would be your advice? You know, given this back and forth, you know, we're just coming off of Turning Point here in Tampa. You know, this was the topic of conversation. What would be your advice in order to take the temperature down on this issue from within the administration?
Well, I do think that there needs to be more transparency on this. And I think that will happen. I mean, look, I don't know what truly exists there, but I know that this is something that's important to the president as well. He does want transparency on all these fronts, that everything we're talking about, because it's frustrated him as well. He sat for 4 years like the rest of us did and saw lie after lie and saw our country just being sent down the wrong path. And it was really frightening and very upsetting to a lot of people. And I would actually say over the past 10 years, we've all kind of endured this. Prior to that, it was probably happening, Benny, but we just weren't as aware of it. It wasn't until Donald Trump came down that golden escalator that he just kind of blew the doors off of everything, and people started to wake up and realize, wait a minute, things are not.
Well, if everybody's waking up, why does he want them to go back to sleep? You can't wake everybody up and be like, all right, guys, never mind. False alarm.
Always been presented to us.
I made it up.
And I do believe that you will see that. Now, as it relates to the president, I know that this is probably not his number one thing he's focused on. He's focused on a lot of other important things. We've got this big announcement with Russia going on, I think, as we're speaking right now at the White House. We have, you know, a Middle East. We're trying to get peace over there. We're trying to make sure that Iran's nuclear arsenal is obviously completely decimated. We want to make sure everything is on the right track for this country. Fortunately, you've seen no border crossings in the last month. Zero, by the way. I think that's incredible. No one's talking about that enough. Zero illegal border crossings in the month of June. Amazing how that's all gone. So I don't know that this was top of mind for him, but he hears all the noise and he hears all of the consternation out there. And I think he's going to want to set things right as well. So I believe that there will probably be more coming on this. And
if he doesn't set this right, he's going to lose the Republicans, the midterms, the whole thing. He's going to lose the whole thing. And there's probably going to be a Democrat that gets elected for the next president. That's what's going to happen. Yep.
I believe anything that they are able
even after Iran, yeah,
release that doesn't, you know, damage any witnesses or anyone underage or anything like that. I believe they'll probably try to get out sooner rather than later because they hear it and they understand it. So
I don't know about that. Okay, clip it.
hopefully we see that happen sooner than later. And that, I guess that would be my advice. But to everybody out there who's all worked up about it, there's no like great plot to keep this information away that I'm aware of. I do just believe that maybe
that I'm aware of.
It's been slow roll.
You don't even know what the information is. You said at the beginning you don't even know what the information is, but now you're saying that there's not a plot to keep it under wraps. How would you know that there's not a plot if you don't even know what it is in the first place?
For reasons that hopefully we understand down the line, and I think we're probably going to get more transparency on it very soon.
Yeah, we'll see. And again, it won't get released, Asmon. Too much money and power involved, I believe. Well, all of these people's money and power, I hope this is true. Yeah, all of their money and power is tied to their influence and their ability to have people vote for them. So if that doesn't happen, then they totally fall apart. And that's what it is. Shout out Barron Trump trying to... Maybe if Barron... They need to get Barron Trump to tell, like, Dad, you need to put it out. They're really... No, I know... Yeah, no. But they're actually mad about this one for real. Like, you got to at least put out, like 3 names or something like that. Like, do something. You know, Barron will release it. Yeah, somebody got to do it. Wouldn't it be funny if Democrats and Republicans both start protesting and get the files released? I mean, again, I think that, this has united people in a way that I didn't expect it. So, yeah, I think that's a good thing.